There we
Hey,
go.
Unc, how you doing?
I'm all right. What's happening with you?
Oh, we're chilling. We're in Chicago. Pretty rainy weather today. But how have you
Same
been?
here. Same here.
Where are you at?
I'm in West Bloomfield, Michigan.
Got you. Okay, so
Oh,
you're really close. Yeah.
yep. Yeah.
Well, Tim, again, before we jump into the questions, just wanted to thank you again for taking time out of your day. I know you're getting a lot of, interviews. Everybody wants to hear about what you're up to, what you're doing. And again, just thank you for taking the time to speak with us on this web series. So pretty much, Michael and I, we developed this a few months ago. At the beginning of the pandemic, there was just a lot of sadness, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of job offers were getting rejected. We just wanted to be able to put out, good content. We wanted to put out inspirational content. So what we're doing, we're interviewing a bunch of influential people to talk about what they were doing in their 20s. So we have you now. We just interviewed Beto O'Rourke a few weeks ago, who ran for president. We have, former head chef at McDonald's. We have a lot of business executives from different companies. And we're just, really happy. This has been, building quickly. I mean, in the past few weeks and months, but people are really loving the videos. It's just something to make them smile. And then also it's just that good advice that people are craving now.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Just help them out, man. It's like you said, there's a lot of people out here just sad and
Yep.
need help and need just guidance and need some comfort.
100%. So Tim, we're going to be getting down and, we're going to go through your career. We're going to go through everything. But we're really excited to start with your college days. You created that UTEP two-step. Obviously, had a hell of a career. But let's talk about, again, like the college days. So what advice do you have for student athletes?
Oh, man. That's a great question. And I always love answering those questions. I think student athletes, especially football and basketball, baseball, you come out in high school and go to the Major League Baseball and play in major leagues right away because their system is set up differently. But in basketball and football, I advise student athletes, just take your time. Patience is a virtue. I look at some of these kids, they want to come out early. I understand they need the money. But getting your education is valuable. And if you leave out after your first year and say you don't make it, you go to the G League, you go overseas, you live in a dream, but you're not living your dream that you could have lived if you stayed and worked on your game and understood how to get better and mature as an athlete. And, a prime example, myself, Shane Battier. He went to school 4 years. He could have came out after his second year, but he loved school. He wanted to go to school. He wanted to get his degree. And he loved, playing for Coach K. And you got to love playing for your coach. You got to love the institution that you go to. And, I just tell people, just patience, and it will work out for you. But they want to go there quick. They want to get there quick. And sometimes getting there quick is not the best for you. And people have to learn in time because when you get to the NBA, you got to be patient. You may not play that first year. You may not play that second year. But you have to be patient and what you need to work on to get better to become that stud athlete. And while you're doing that, you get your degree and you can live free. I tell them you can live free in college. You don't have no bills. If you have bills, the school is already paying those bills for you because you get stipends for living off campus. So it's a lot of things that go into that, but I advise them to stay in school and be patient. And I understand, they come out, and unless first pick, second pick, third pick, don't take that chance on being, that lottery pick because sometimes you might slide. So I just tell them patience and go to school and get that education.
Tim, I love that advice. Really important advice. And then also, I just want to point out that doesn't just have to apply to sports. You're really talking about the key of patience. Patience is a virtue, and it's a really important life skill to recognize where, a lot of people, once they see like that, early opportunity, they want to jump into it and rush into it. And a lot of times they might not be ready for that. But you're a prime example. You spent the 4 years at college, really developed your game, got a lot of recognition, and then, of course, had a wonderful career. So now we're going to jump to 89. That's when you were drafted into the NBA. First round, 14th pick. And obviously amazing things happened and have been happening since. Can you talk to us about your transition from college to the NBA, a professional environment like that?
When I was coming up, I was always ahead of my time. I would always talk to older people. I always play against older people. I always played against NBA guys when I was in college. So when I got to the NBA, playing with NBA people wasn't like I was overwhelmed. Okay. I was overwhelmed by playing against Magic. I was overwhelmed by playing against Michael. I was overwhelmed by playing against these guys, but I wasn't overwhelmed by playing in the NBA because I used to play against NBA ball players all the time. But moving to a different city, Oakland, California, and being by myself, not there's, being at college, you got it's like a college family. But when you're in the NBA, you really are by yourself. These other guys, they got families, they got girls, they got kids, and they got to spend time with them, and you don't want to invade their privacy. So it wasn't a struggle, but it was a struggle because I was living so far away from home. I'm from Chicago. I'm living in Oakland, in the Bay Area, San Francisco. So it was living in a big city wasn't, I knew about living in a big city, what to do, what not to do, where to go, where not to go. But, you just got to choose your friends wisely. Got to choose them, that who going to be your friends, understand that, they're going to be there through thick and thin. And it took me a while to find friends like that. And I still, am friends with them. I still talk to them. I still communicate with them in Oakland. And, but yeah, it wasn't a tough transition on the basketball court, but off the basketball court, it was definitely a tough transition because I had so much free time, man. I mean, after 2.5 hour practice, we done at 1 o'clock. I got from 1 until the next morning to go to practice. I'm just free. So I'm like, what to do, what not to do, where to go. If I want to go explore a little bit of Oakland, because, back then Oakland was kind of treacherous back then, in the 80s. And so it was like, I just had a good sense of people and understood, not to fall into traps that other people fell into because I was from Chicago. But man, it was a big transition.
Wow, yeah, that does seem like it being a struggle moving from a city and just having no friends, no family. It's really amazing that you were able to overcome that, especially as you said, I didn't know there was so much free time involved after practice, just having to go home and not really knowing what to do in a brand new city. So that's pretty amazing. And you had mentioned that you had played against some like Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, obviously. Who would you say is the greatest competitor you'd ever played against in the NBA?
No question. The greatest competitor I ever played against was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen was the greatest competitor. Gary Payton. Yeah, those three were relentless and going out there and playing hard. Oh, John Stockton and Karl Malone, of course. They was just relentless out there. Relentless. They gave their team a chance to win each and every night. And you had to bring it each and every night against that team. So yeah, those four. I think to me was the greatest competitors I ever played against.
Was it intimidating at that time to go up a team like the Bulls?
I'm going to tell you this. The first time we played against the Bulls, because I played against Michael Jordan in the summer. So that's not the Bulls. That's Michael Jordan. He with a group of guys playing, and we playing, you know, basketball. But when he gets with his team, you know, you got to get team oriented. You have to play against the world champion Chicago Bulls. So it was like, it was somewhat intimidating because I'm from Chicago and I wanted to put a good showing together for my guys, my family, you know, my friends in Chicago, so they won't have bragging rights against me. But it was my first time playing against him, playing against the Chicago Bulls, playing against Magic Johnson in the Great Western Forum back then. It was intimidating, and it was I was in awe. You know, I'm like, you know, damn, you know, I made it. I'm here for real. You know, I'm in the NBA playing for real. And but after you get over those jitters after the first game or the first quarter, you got to snap out of it and just play. And that's what I did.
Yeah, and so you had this very historic career, obviously, and if you were able to go back and do it all again, is there anything you would do differently, or would you just do it all the same? You think you had everything, you were doing everything great?
You know what? Everybody say they would do something differently. You know, I definitely would go back and do some things differently. But other than that, I mean, they small, minor things. But other than that, no, I wouldn't do nothing differently. I mean, if my career played out the way it's supposed to have played out, I did things out there that I'm very, very, very proud of, and my team is proud of me doing it. But the organization is proud of, and then, you know, we carried ourselves very well. So, no, I mean, no, I wouldn't do nothing differently.
Love that, Tim. And our last question for you now is about your son, Tim Jr., currently at the end of his 20s, plays for the Dallas Mavericks. He's killing it in the NBA, following in his father's footsteps. What advice have you given to your son as he's been in his 20s?
Well, first of all, when you say at the end of his 20s, I'm like, wow, you know what? I didn't even realize that. You know, I'm just looking at his career. This is his 7th year in the NBA. And you're right. He's at the end of his 20s. But I always tell him, don't never, ever, ever let nobody take your confidence away from you. That's all you got out there on the basketball court is your confidence and your heart. Don't never let nobody take your confidence and your heart away. All right? Go out there and play with the best and play hard and always leave it out on the court. But, you know, somebody talking trash to you, fuel that fire. Make it fuel that fire. You go at them. I know you didn't grow up talking smack. I grew up talking smack. So if I'm talking smack back and forth, I can handle it. I go back at you talking, and I can do it. Let your play do the talking. Go out there and bust their butt. You know, I don't say butt. You know, I say, yeah, but go out there and bust their butt. Go out there and show them, look, man, you're not going to be talking to me this way. I'm going to come out here and scorch you. And that's how you get back at them. And off the court, I said, just take care of your money. Take care of your mom, you know, and live life to the fullest. And, you know, down the line, you know, starting now, we starting to get into, you know, it's coming not to the end. I think he got another 7, 8 more years to play. But, you know, when it gets down to that 3-year mark where he's, you know, thinking about retiring, or 4-year mark, that's when we got to start looking at what you want to do after basketball. Because he's going to be 38, you know, 39. He's still going to be in the prime of his life. And, you know, what do you want to truly do after basketball? You know, what business do you want after basketball? And that's what, you know, I'm putting in his head now. You know, he came to me one day and said, Dad, you know what we need to talk about? I've been thinking about that. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. So next time, you know, I go down to Miami, I'm gonna start talking to him about it, and I jot some stuff down so I give to him, and you know, so we can talk about it, because it is life after basketball, and you have to live life in a way where it's no more basketball. that's it. So you got to live a different lifestyle, and you got to live a different way. So that's what we're talking about, and that's what I talk to him about. But I say, and he, sometimes he calls me and say, Dad, what am I doing wrong? I said, well, and I give him examples. You should have done that, or you had him this way and you didn't dunk on him, or you didn't shoot the ball. You remember you didn't shoot the ball? Yeah, but I was off. I'm like, forget that, man. Shoot. You a shooter. Shoot the basketball. So it's just stuff like that we talk about, and but we have a lot of fun with one another, and talk about other guys and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what we talk about. But it's mainly now it's talking about his career after basketball.
I love that, he calls you often for that advice. Junior is really lucky to have you and Yolanda as, amazing parents. I loved your point about, having a game plan also. I mean, you could be, really situated doing something in the present, doing it well, you're a rock star at that, but you always need to be focused on what's happening after. And that's strategy. That's a game plan. I also love the confidence that you've instilled into him. I mean, that's really strong. And I will say, I mean, he does pull up. I mean, he's a really, really good shooter. I remember watching when he first came into the league, they during All-Star weekend, they have like that freshman sophomore game. Yeah. And remember that back and forth he went? He was like pulling up from half court. Like
him
that
and
was
Waiters. Yeah, him and Waiters. Yep. I like that.
He's a stone cold shooter. And I know that he's really appreciates having you as a father. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you this, like you all, Landon, like you all got to have the confidence to do what you all doing right now. And I'm quite sure it's some type of negativity from some people because they, as they call it, haters. Mm-hmm. People hate on people, but you have to, like my mom used to tell me, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names and words will never hurt you. Mm-hmm. And if you true to yourself and you understand yourself and understand that you can do and you believe in you, then you could take your career to another level. And that's what I like about you all. Both of you all look like you all believe in this, what y'all doing now, and y'all gonna take it to another level, and y'all very interested in doing that. So I could tell, like, by looking at you all, by the questions you asking, and how mature y'all look too. When I see you now, I'm just amazed at how mature, very mature you are, and doing this podcast and everything. That's great. I'm very happy and excited for you all.
Tim, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Michael and I really, really appreciate hearing that. It means a lot coming from you. And you're right. We really, Michael and I, when we came up with this idea, we had a solid mission and we've stuck with it ever since. We just want to help people out. We want to inspire them. And of course, we've been privileged to speak with amazing people like you. We're even, being inspired every day doing this. This is amazing advice that Michael and I get to now take and have, and we just want to be able to scale it. We think everybody deserves amazing advice. So thank you for seeing that and appreciating that.
Yeah. And Tim, we can't thank you enough for being on today. We really have been trying to get people from all different kinds of industries. So we haven't had an athlete on yet. So this is great advice because there's tons of athletes in college that, might not know what to do. And I think it's really impactful that you said you still, you might be this amazing athlete, but you should still take your time, have patience, and focus on your education. Because when it comes to your son leaving the NBA in, 8 or 9 years, you got to do something, and that knowledge is going to help you really create that after athletics life. So I thought that was really impactful.
Correct. No question about that. Yep.
Perfect. Well, Tim, again, thank you so much for the time. Shorter than 30 minutes like it was promised. And again, just thank you.
And I want to tell you this, if y'all ever need me to, help you out with getting somebody or talking to somebody, get somebody on, don't hesitate. You just, you got my number, you got my email. Don't hesitate. Let me know, and I give them a buzz and tell them, come on.